The tool for tonight, I want to speak into, if you haven't heard this, I want to invite you to try it, adopt it. Yeah, just see how it shows up for you. Just because I'm recovering from codependency and I don't get to live a part of my life without it does not mean that I'm suffering from it. When we talk about recognizing my level of pathology, recognizing my level of disease, and recognizing my level of recovery, just making sure I have as much recovery as pathology. And the goal is to be higher, right? This is an aneurysm, so don't Google this. I believe that recovery gives us the gift of awareness. If you think back to a time before recovery for you, I want you to witness yourself back in that time before recovery. And I want you to notice how much self-awareness you had. Just think about that for a second. How much self-awareness did you have before recovery? I can speak into the eye and say I had absolutely zero. Because with an external locus of control, my life depended on me pleasing people. Otherwise, there was punitive consequences. I was trained to make sure people outside of me were content, happy, and had what they needed. That's why I was such a good chameleon. It's also why I never had an identity until I got into recovery, because I was born a codependent. And I don't speak that lightly. And I'm grateful for the 17 years of recovery that's given me the gift of self awareness. Because when I can be self aware, lizard brain's off. Mhm. Prefrontal cortex is on logic, decision making, and analyzing. That's the part of my brain, whether I suffer from addiction, substances, behavior, numbing, medicating. This is the part of the brain that goes off and the lizard brain comes on. When I have self awareness, I am not surviving. I am not in lizard brain. When I can own I think I'm in fucking end stage codependency. Well, you're right, sweetheart, but guess what? Your eyes are wide open. And it sounds so glim and dark, end stage codependency. That's not my term. That's what you're going to read in a lot of books on codependency. And much like anything else, the numbing and medicating, there's this imaginary line that when I do it in excess, when I'm isolating in excess. Believe it or not, most people don't believe this. I'm an introvert. I only show up this way with my people, with recovery people. That's because I feel safe. And I also couldn't do this every day. Thursday night is very special to me. Like I save energy for this because this is one of my meetings for the week. And I get so much from you guys too. And I'm an introvert. I recharge by being alone. That's not bad or wrong. When I do it in excess, though, I'm very well aware that I'm doing it in excess. You want to know why? Because I start self shaming, I start judging. Mhm. So I want to offer you two things. One is an Al Anon belief, principle, saying, mantra. I can't control it. I sure as fuck didn't cause it, and I'm not going to apologize for that one. And I can't cure it. Much like someone with diabetes, you can put their favorite dessert pie in front of them, their mouth is going to salivate. It is because we're human. It isn't that we aren't human. It's that we make sure that what I'm navigating in my world and relationally, how I show up in my world, does not make me abandon me. Period. We have to learn how to do that. We weren't taught that. We weren't modeled that. Cellularly, that's not showing up in our DNA. We have to create it, which is really hard. And the way that we do that, this might surprise you because it sounds so simple, and it's not. If you go back to first starting in the rooms, most people have the same experiences. But the way that we do that is by no longer enduring. We don't do what we're capable of anymore. We no longer endure. We do something called feeling to heal. We grieve. We tell our stories. We color ourselves in with the reality of what we survived. Because that was my story, and I am not my story. I'm Amber. I am not my story. Thank goodness. I don't save everyone because I don't have any fucking power over that. But what I do have is the ability to share my story, feel my feelings, because what I was taught was not to do that. And what I do now is I cry when I need to cry, whether I'm angry, pissed, or sad. Tears come out. I don't have control over it. But being able to feel is what lets me heal. So if that's the emotional sobriety stage that you're in, congratulations, because that's really high level recovery. You can also be in stage codependency and high level recovery at the same fucking time. Don't know if you knew that or not, but you can. In recovery, if you think of a number line, if you're with me, you know what this means, but I'm going to try to describe it for those that haven't experienced it. I put a number line on the floor, 1 through 10. Pathology is about, yeah, pathology is about living on the 10 and living on the 1 and never getting to walk in the middle. So recovery is what allows me to walk up and down the 1 and 10. There's no rule in any recovery book that says I stand on the 5 every day. That's not even realistic. Recovery is not always being in the gray. Recovery is recognizing when I'm not. Recovery is recognizing when my body is not okay, my little girl isn't okay, or my little boy isn't okay, and I then do something to support them. And now I'm regulated, all maybe within the same hour, within the same day, versus living decades in survival. That's recovery. So it is that gift of self-awareness that I get to see and feel where I am. Because if my body wasn't telling me I'm pissed, I wouldn't know I deserve better. So those that are angry today, congratulations. You recognize your worth. And I just want to invite you into that. Anger is a secondary emotion, but it also helps us recognize I deserve better than this. I'm worth more than this. And it's also why we choose to live in recovery for the rest of our life, because we do deserve more than this. And there are more, for me, more good days, more better days than not. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope that even though I asked you to trust me because I knew that I could bring it full circle, and our stories are full circle, right? They're real, they're painful. And if I can't be in my pain and bring myself full circle, I'll keep numbing and medicating. So just make sure that you are gentle tonight. Make sure that you recognize if you're still triggered and take care of your body. Take some deep breaths or sit with your dog or your cat. They're really good at regulating nervous systems. And just be with some permission to just feel. Okay?